shape. Thank you. Just gonna wait a few more minutes. Not a minute, a few more seconds. Hey, Red Queen. Let's wait for Mr. Wright to get in here since he is gonna be the first guest. Kitty, hey Kitty. Thank you for the cherries. All right, let's get the show started. Oh, wrong intro. All right, Emoji J, thank you for the intro. Everybody, welcome back. This is Grow Through It. I'm your host, Cureage, or my friends just call me Cure. Here we talk about different adversities and how we overcame them. Things we did to not just go through them, but how we grew through and from them, making us the people we are today. Tonight we have some very special guests. We have Mr. Right Way, that's with a W, not Right. And then we have Top Badge Red Queen as our second guest. So a little bit about the show before we jump into it and get our first guest in. Uh, Here, like I said, we do talk about adversities. So we all been through something, right? We've all been through some kind of crazy situation in our lives that can make or break us, right? There's a lot of people can take something and go through it and become bitter and let it linger and create this person that nobody wants to be around, things like that. Where here we talk about what we did and the things we did and why we did them, how to become better from those, horrible, quote unquote, horrible situations that we were in. So, for example, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Cureage, and we're here every Monday night, by the way, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. I don't know where you guys are at, but I'm sure you can figure out those times. It is a featured show, so please be respectful. No swearing, no politics, no religion, any of that. So again, a little bit about myself. I grew up as an athlete. One of the main sports I stuck with and kind of started at a basically since I could walk was martial arts. Started in karate, then judo, and as I became a teenager, UFC got really, really big, right? There was a big time in there. And in that time, I decided like, wow, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life, or as long as I can. And so I took that, ran with it. I started training Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, you name it, I was there and I started competing. So it became not just a passion of mine, but a job. That's 2 or 3 times a day, 5 or 6 days a week. That was my life. I mean, among with college, work, etc., things like that. So with that, I started competing, I started fighting, and in my early 20s, I had moved back to LA where I'm originally from, and woke up one day, I could not walk. I couldn't walk. I did not know why, but it was scary as heck. Try not to swear. It was definitely scary, because you don't know if you're going to walk again. You know what happened. I don't even know where it came from, but I found out I had a herniated disc in my L6. Left leg was, hip was out of place, causing a lot of sciatic nerve damage. Even to this day, I mean, I can walk, thankfully, but I had to do a lot of physical therapy. I went through a lot of anxiety, depression, all those kind of things you can think of went through me because that was my career. That was my dream career, and I was living it, and it just got taken from me. Um, but fast forward a little bit, after physical therapy and things like that, instead of becoming bitter about it, I decided, what's the way I can become better? And one thing I wasn't able to do was stay away from those gyms. I could not stay away. I had to keep going. Even though I couldn't train for a while, I was there, on my crutches for a while and hanging out with the coaches now. Now I'm on the sidelines. Totally different perspective, totally different view from what I'm used to, but it's where I was. And so as I was doing that, I noticed that certain fighters were coming up to me for advice, tips. What did you used to do? Or what can I do in this situation? I have a fight coming up this week. Can you be in my corner? Whatever it was, I was just like, this is new. This is different. But I realized like there was no way for them to come to me before because I was always busy doing my thing. And so I was pretty flattered, to be honest. Like these guys really care about my opinion. These guys really are asking me, you know, for their fight styles and things like that. So what happened was I started helping them and I started seeing them succeed with my advice, with my coaching. And that's when I fell in love with coaching and found that what became more fulfilling in my life, coaching and watching these people, these fighters flourish in their career, and not just flourish but learn, and every day we're learning something, right? We should be, at least. And not only did I just continue doing that, but I took it and ran with it. And over here you can't really see, but I took certifications, degrees, everything I could get, from nutrition to physical therapy to uh, everything, fitness, just to make sure that these fighters that I'm now working with and helping them, their lives much better in their career, be the best that they can be. Um, so that was a little bit about my story and how we talk about things here on Grow Through It. Is that's how I grew through my situation, basically. In a nutshell, I ended my career. I got a horrible injury, couldn't walk. All of a sudden, started getting better, realized couldn't compete anymore. So I took that, decided to coach. So I still didn't have to stay away from the job or career. I still was able to be around those people. And I still was able to do the things that I really love doing, just in a different aspect that I found even more fulfilling in the end. So in a nutshell, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. That's what we talk about every night. Again, Monday nights, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. Um, for our first guest is going to be Mr. Right Way. He has been on the app for quite a while. A lot of you maybe might know him, might have seen him around. So as I introduce him, go ahead and have him hop in the box.
Courage, what up, bro?
What's up, bro? How are you?
I'm good, man. Nice to meet you.
I've met you in the past before, very, very, very briefly. I think it was like a year ago or something when I first started streaming. But yeah, man, it's good to see you. I'd never, would have thought that you'd be on my show, but here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Emoji J is the bookie's a bookie, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he really is. He's a busy man. And again, I appreciate everybody for all the love. If you haven't already, please hit Mr. Right Way with the favorite. I can't obviously respond to everybody's messages or comments and all love, but I appreciate all of you for being here, showing love, showing support for me and the guests. And keep it respectful, guys. I appreciate it. So, Mr. Right, is that cool if I call you that?
You can call me Lenny, man. It's all good.
Lenny, my man. So, what I know we didn't usually, what I like to do when I'm, wasn't so busy with work, is I like to do pre-calls before the show. Talk
Right.
about what's something we're going to talk about, this and that. So I'm just going to dive right into it. What is something that an adversity, so to speak, that you've been through in your life that, you were able to not just let it sour you, but you were actually able to accept it, embrace it, and then grow from it?
I mean, the thing that really pops into my mind is actually how I started streaming. I COVID came about and it started to change everybody's life. I went through a divorce and I got laid off all in the same week,
Oh,
as getting
damn.
locked down on COVID. And
Yeah.
so, I was really depressed and suicidal. And, I got on Meet Me because it gave me an avenue to be able to meet a bunch of people and, not have to go to bars or, anything like that. And so, to be
Right.
absolutely honest with you, man, I have no idea where I would be without, an app like Meet Me. Because, it kind of, it kept me in social interaction. So, I mean, to be fair.
So it was your kind of savior during the pandemic, or the beginning at least.
100%. 100%.
So what was something that you were doing before the pandemic that kind of was something you didn't want to go back, or still to this day you don't want to go back to because you found this to be that much better of an outlet?
So it kind of got a little different. So I developed an anxiety condition over COVID called agoraphobia.
Okay. Fear of
Agoraphobia
people and
is,
things,
yeah. And
being out in
so
social places.
exactly, anything that could potentially cause embarrassment or anything like that. And so, for me, I guess, this kind of just kept me like connected, with the world. I didn't know that there was so many, I guess, people in it, from different walks of lives and everything. But like,
Right.
it certainly opened up my eyes to, how many blessings that I do have on a daily basis, and, to quit focusing on the things that I don't have and really appreciate the things that I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it takes, things like that to, like I said, so it's called grow through it. It takes certain
Nice.
downs to really pick us up, and then we come up with that different perspective, right? That's what it's all about. It's perception. Like we can look at
100%.
things however we want. So when you first started streaming, what was that like? Like, did you have content that you knew you were gonna have, or did you just kind of were testing the waters? We're looking for
No, man,
somebody like
like,
a rebound because you just got left, not left, but you got divorced.
I mean, yeah,
Let's
like
be
I
honest, right?
certainly, like I certainly had my slut phase like right in the beginning. But like for me, streaming was more of an avenue to be able to like distract myself when I would go and like walk, and like, I would focus on my stream instead of being out in public. And, it kind of, it really helped. Come in. So, that's kind of how it is. It worked well for me.
Yeah. And so since then, how many, that was 2 years ago, right? That you
No, it
started?
was 4 years ago.
Okay, 4 years ago. So
Mhm.
what are your, do you still stream pretty often? Is it something that you
Not as
still
much as I used
use?
to. Yeah,
So some,
like I stream a bunch, kind of on a couple of different platforms. But at the end of the day, it's cool to see, streamers up and coming, and the streamers that are just starting,
right.
to be able to have, somebody to be able to like reach out and, kind of help them along. It works.
Yeah. And, like you said, different platforms, obviously, like this is probably your main one, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And you're not the first person actually to talk about how streaming really helped them in their life
Hmm.
during certain situations and, adversities and things that they faced. So now this is 4 years later, and you're not feeling, is it you don't stream as much because you don't feel the need to, like, because it wasn't that rough time, or is it just because it's just through the app you develop
Um,
more of a social outside of the app?
I mean, for anybody that streams out here, it gets to be a lot. I've been an empath for as long as I can remember, and so, I always try to help as many people before myself as possible. And it has certainly kind of put me at, a weird spot a couple different times. So, I guess it's just like, being able to like set boundaries and not be, so, I guess, available all the time. Because you got to take time for yourself too.
Yeah. Would you consider the streaming like your you time, your kind of
It's crazy is like I used to. It was like, my therapy or like my recreation. But like when you get out here and, you do have a following or you do have people that come to your stream to like, for you to brighten their day or help them get through something, it gets really heavy because I mean,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's like who do you then go and talk to so you can go decompress? OG Marie,
right. And
hello.
and as an empath, it's not easy after a while. At
No,
least
sir.
unless you know how to deflect people's, crap, then it's a little easier. And I think you kind of learn that as you stream. I'm guessing, right? You've streamed a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, it's rough is because, so there was a situation one night that I was definitely not the person to go to because I was well, we'll talk about that later. But the gentleman, he had a bottle of booze and he had a pistol and he was talking about, killing himself and ending his life. And I'm like, y'all, I'm definitely not the right one for this situation right now, like for real. And so I ended up
Right.
sitting and talking with him for a couple hours, and it was really cool because I got to see just sitting and having a conversation what sort of effect it could have on somebody's life. That was dope. um
Right. Yeah.
it's I think as broadcasters and influencers, we have a huge responsibility what comes out of our screens. And so, it's
Yeah.
been
We're
a
hosts.
humbling, right? 100%. So
We're
it's been a
hosts of
humbling experience.
people's. Yeah. Just like how I would say, like how when you were going through your situations, um, the divorce and COVID and everything,
Hmm.
and your job, like how you went and you felt your type of way, you went into this app, same way that people are coming to you in a sense, and it's like a huge burden, but it's almost like an honor. It's like a burden and an
Facts.
honor. It's like a bittersweet type of thing, because we're hosting this place that they can actually feel safe to come to.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people know this top badge streamer on this app is Waldo, and I feel like there's no safer place than to go if you're ever feeling some kind of way. I know a lot of people maybe don't like him. I'm cool with him, but like, I felt like that was always a place to go. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but it's like
Hmm.
you don't doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because you, in a sense, you don't matter, but you do matter at the same time. If that makes sense to anybody. And
Facts.
certain streams, there's certain streams like that, but then there's also certain streams where it's like more low key, like mine, for an example. I don't usually have
Hmm.
this many views because it's a feature show, obviously, but I
Right.
sit here and I will literally individually talk to every single person that comes in that's going to talk
Hmm.
at least, because we always get those people that don't talk. So, obviously now you're at the point where you're pretty well known on the app. I mean, I know I met you through a few different people. I don't remember who, but I've seen you in battles and I've seen you do your thing, and you've had different stations. I believe I remember you were on a couch for a while. Maybe it was Mr.
Hmm.
Jew. Was it Mr. Jew? I don't know. Who knows? It's been a lot of
Different
time.
guy.
Okay, but anyways, so real quick, everybody, thank you for coming by. This is Grow Through It. I'm your host, Cureage, or just Cure. Um, this is Mr. Right Way. Please hit him with a fave if you haven't already. You hit me with a fave if you haven't. The top. I appreciate everybody coming in here. Obviously, I can't acknowledge everybody, just out of respect for the show and for my guests. I appreciate all the love as well, and please continue showing love to the guests. So real quick, I know you have another show that you booked for tonight, so we're gonna get you out of here as soon as we can. What's
Hmm.
something that there's a lot of shows going on this app, so I get it. Um, what's something that you would say is the best thing for new and upcoming streamers, or even OG streamers like yourself, or OG Marie? No, I'm just kidding. Just different streamers that had that situation happen where you know obviously this helped you, right? This helped you in a lot of different ways in a certain time, to the point where it still is there for you, but you're not necessarily needing it. But there are people that, like you said, it gets overwhelming, it gets tiring, it gets emotional, draining, right?
Hmm.
What would you say is the best way to still enjoy streaming but keeping that balance of you know keeping your peace of mind?
A long time ago when I first started streaming, a streamer once told me that happiness is a choice. And at the end of the day, you can make that choice or you can miss that choice. And it took me a while to figure that out. But at the end of the day, happiness is your destiny if you choose to make it that way. So um, oh, hi Bethany. Bethany is the one that told me that. But
Oh,
you
nice.
know, yeah, I think that we all go through a lot of different growing pains on this app because, like everybody else, we're healing from something. And
Yeah,
realistically, it's like if we just treated each other more like human beings and less like characters on a screen, I think a
right.
lot of us would start understanding that we all have feelings, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And it does take a toll, but it's like I said, it's a bittersweet thing. That toll also is sweet because at the end of the day, it's like that person, like you said, that person came into your stream asking you of all people. I mean, maybe it was by chance. I don't believe in chance very likely like that. I'm really more in, whatever you want to call it. But that person came to you, and then in the end, that person thanked you or whatever it was that happened, that you helped them out. So maybe it was a little bit draining, but at the end you felt like, they were able to come to you, come into your stream. You did your job, so to speak, right, as a host on this app, being a streamer, and you're able to help them through it.
hmm I guess
And like you said,
what I
happiness is a choice.
go ahead, sir.
No, that was gonna say, create your own happiness, like Bethany said.
hmm
Whatever makes you happy is how you stream.
Yeah, I completely agree. That and if there's anybody that uses the word "I'm fine," it's okay not to be okay, right? That's the other
Oh yeah,
thing,
100%. And that's what I talk
So
about here every show. I talk about, how it's okay to embrace different emotions, how it's okay to, and you're welcome to hop out of the box. I appreciate you, by the way. Everybody, please hit Mr. Right Way,
thank
Lenny
you
with a
guys.
favorite. Um, appreciate you being here. Stick around as long as you can, brother. Um, but yeah, no, what I talk about every episode in my show is how important it is to feel things. A lot of us avoid feeling things, right? We drink, we do things, we smoke, whatever it may be that your outlet to avoid feeling certain things, right? Well, I'm not going to tell you don't do that. I'm not going to tell you that's wrong because you know you better. I'm just here saying what the facts, and that's what we've done. I've done it. I'm sure we all here have done it. Um, but there are other ways too, like, and this is what I talk about on my show. And this is what I talk about to my own clients in the past through NLP coaching and everything is that it's okay to feel certain things. And I'm just going to say it's okay to feel really crappy. I mean, that's not really a cuss word, so I can say that. It's okay to feel really crappy. It's okay to feel sad, anger, you know, all the emotions, right? Because if you really think down about it, there are no right or wrong emotions, right? There's no negative or positive emotions. You know what I mean? Like what we do with them, however, can dictate whether they're good, bad, right, or wrong. You know what I mean? Like, so if we're sitting here, feeling depressed and then we suppress it and then we feel anger and then we suppress it and then maybe 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the line, all of a sudden we go on this spree and then you find out, obviously there are people have seen certain shows where it shows, type of crazy people. I think you guys all are thinking about the same person I am or people that I am thinking about. um, those people become crazy. And I'm not saying their actions were justified. All I'm saying is that suppressing emotions and not allowing us to feel them can make us all go a little bit crazy in some type of way. So I always talk about like the way I would teach my clients is the best way to deal, not even deal with emotions, but accept. And okay, so I do this every time in between guests. I read a couple different quotes. So I'll read this one really quick. Again, appreciate all love and everybody. Welcome to Grow Through It. I am your host, Cureage, or just Cure. My friends call me Cure. Um, we're here every Monday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, 11 Central, 10 Mountain. whatever time you're on, we could figure it out. And if you ever want to be a guest on the show, give me that favorite, add me on Instagram or Snapchat, send me a message. We can get you on the show, or Emoji J. Um, they have these new challenges, I guess now, huh? So sorry, I haven't been streaming much lately, but again, with the emotions and the feelings and everything like that, this is one of the quotes, and it's perfect because I picked this out before I even did the show tonight. So it says, acceptance doesn't mean you don't change it, just means it no longer has any power over you. And that's basically my whole point to this. And obviously Right Way's point is that, and like he said, Bethany was telling him, you choose your own happiness, right? And that's comes with finding what makes you happy and being able to embrace these emotions, whether they hurt, maybe they don't feel good, whatever it was, whatever it is that doesn't feel good to you, it's okay. Like you said, it's okay to not be okay. And so with this quote, I'm gonna read it real quick one more time. Acceptance doesn't mean you don't change it, it just means it no longer has any power over you. So basically that's what that's saying is, and what I tell, like I said, what I tell my clients is that take feelings and emotions, right? Good, like I said, there's no good, there's no bad, but take depression. We'll just use the depression and anger right now. Because I know a lot of people will think, well, that's kind of a negative emotion. It's really not. It's just, it is what it is. What we do with it will dictate whether it's good or bad or negative or positive. But now think of all times we felt angry or we felt depressed or anything like that. And instead of, we hold it inside, we suppress it, right? We deep down, we hold it in. And instead of just releasing it, not onto people, don't get me wrong, but instead what we do is we sit back, we look at it almost like we're outside of it, right? We're just looking at it like, I'm angry right now. And it's okay, I'm angry. It is what it is. I'm not gonna be angry for the rest of my life. I'm angry right now because this is this, or that person did this, whatever. I'm angry. Instead of going into that vicious cycle, like I'm angry, oh, I shouldn't be angry, and then you get more angry because you are angry. So what we do is what I've done with clients is I say, imagine you're on a highway or at a beach, and on the highway, you're standing on the side, right, on the side of the road, and you're watching these cars coming and going, right, passing. Each car is a different motion, a different thought, a different feeling. It could be the anger bus, it could be the depression limousine, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. That's not the point. The point is that they're coming and they're going, and there's no need to jump in front of them, right? Or to hop into that, anger bus. There's no need for it, right? We can just watch it come. We let it come. I'm really angry right now. Maybe I need to go take a glass plate, go outside, break that plate because it costs like 20 cents, 50 cents, a dollar, whatever, it doesn't matter. Go break that plate, clean it up later, and then you feel a little bit better. And as you accept it, you embrace that you feel mad because it is an emotion. We're going to feel mad at some point. We're going to feel sad at some point. We're going to feel everything at some point or another in our lives. And that's why it's important to grow through these feelings, not just go through them, because when we go through them, we just suppress. So when we grow through them, we can figure out that, find that plate to throw on the ground, or we find that, whatever for depression, like, or like I said, on the beach. So you stand on the sand, and when you watch those waves, they're coming in, they're coming in. This is me because I used to surf. They're coming in, they're going out. And when you're surfing, I mean, I don't know who surfs here or not, but it doesn't matter. As a surfer, you don't surf every single wave. You pick which wave, right? So it's the same thing. That wave could be the wave of depression. I'm not going to stick with that one. This wave could be the wave of anger. It's not really my type, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. So like I said, the emotion, it is what it is, right? So it is anger. Maybe you feel anger. That's okay. Maybe you feel depressed a little bit because some things aren't going right in your life. That's okay too. What we do is we respond to them. And that's a big difference, is reaction to and response. Reaction is like, this happened, now I gotta do this, right? Or response is, okay, this is happening. I'm looking at it now from here, right? I'm like holding my hands, but I realize you guys can't see my hand. So I'm looking at it, right? This is how it looks. Now, here's what I get. Here's what I can do. This, and this. I can accept it. I can allow it to be. I can feel it through and allow it to pass, right? Or I can suppress it, put it away right now, and then deal with it later, which helps. It's not a bad thing. Then there's complete suppression where I just put it away, pretend like it doesn't exist, and just move on with my life. And then later in life, it's going to catch up to me. I've been there, I've done that, I've dealt with that. It destroys you, literally. And I'm sure a lot of us have done that too. So I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. Apologize. One more thing I do want to talk about before I have Miss Red Queen. Hopefully she's still in here. I haven't seen her in the comments in a while. But you can go ahead and request that box when you're ready, when you're ready. I'm going to read this other quote, and I want to mention something really quick for everybody here. And again, I appreciate everybody for being here tonight. It's been we had to skip last week because of the holidays, or was that last week? I don't remember anymore. Whatever. So to fear is to be human. I'm gonna substitute that in a minute. To avoid fear is to avoid your own humanity. And I think it was Bethany to say being human. So I'm gonna substitute fear with feel. To feel is to be human. To avoid feeling is to avoid your own humanity. That's not what it says. My app's glitching. Can you guys hear me and everything? Just push a 1 or something like that. Okay. I just want to make sure it was glitching a little bit. So that's obviously a very factual quote. So with that being said, and the whole feelings and emotions and thoughts and everything like that, there's a thing that I really like to talk about in the show, or mention in the show. It's called kintsugi. And being in martial arts since I could walk, basically, I was around a lot of Japanese culture. And kintsugi is a beautiful philosophy-based ritual in Japan. Well, it's Japanese. It stems from Japan. And just a second, right? Yeah, okay. I'll have you hop in right now while I'm talking about this. Sorry. Basically, if you guys want to look it up, it's KINTSUGI, kintsugi. And what it is you're taking a piece of important pottery, whether it's a bowl, whether it's a cup, whatever it is, and you break it into pieces. And then what they do is they would put those pieces back together with liquid gold. They would take gold, melt it with the heat, burning the gold into liquid form and sealing up all those cracks, putting that bowl in together. And the whole philosophy behind that is that that bowl or that cup or that plate was not as beautiful until it was broken and then rebuilt again. So if you guys don't want to think about anything, remember, like I said, we all go through stuff. Red Queen, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We all go through certain things, but it's how we grow through them that matters. We could all fall down, and there's that cliche, get back up, blah, blah, but it's how we get back up, right? And so look it up when you guys get a chance. You can. I'll type it in with my backup account real quick, and you guys can check it on your own. And everybody, please, if you haven't already, there we go. Bethany has it. All right, we're taken care of. Thank you, Bethany. If you haven't favorited Miss Red Queen, please do. She's a pretty fresh top badge over here, making her way through the app. How has your night been? How was your Monday? Happy Monday.
My Monday is Mondaying.
Mundane.
Complain.
I mean, better than being bad, right?
True.
And hopefully this will spark it up a little bit.
Yep. I'm gonna go live after this, so I'm like, this is the start of my night.
There you guys go. Make sure to favorite her, and if you haven't favorited me too, but favorite her, and you can check out her live after she gets off here. So, same thing with Right Way. We didn't really get a chance to talk about what you were going to share tonight, so I'm just gonna dive right into it. Something that you faced and how you overcame it.
So for my situation, I thought about a bunch of stuff that I was going to talk about today, but I figured something fitting would be the adversity that I faced on the app. So I started off in a family on the app. I'm not going to say any names or details, but I started in a family in the app. And I had an issue where I got a top gifter from someone else who, was a big streamer on the app. And because I, took her top gifter, they kind of exiled me and tried to run me off the app. So I went through that for a good several months, of, my phone number being leaked, harassing me, trolling me, making accounts of me, talking about my children, saying my government name. I
Wow.
mean, it was cyberbullying to the fullest extent. And if I was, any in any weaker of a mindset, I mean, these are things that people are killing themselves over. You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah, literally.
Cyberbullying, harassment, doxing, that sort of thing. This is, and if
Right.
anyone in here has been to my live, you know that I am somebody that's just, I'm a very chill person. I tolerate the trolls. I love the trolling. I think it's funny, but there's a difference between banter and bullying. And there's a lot of bullying on the app.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of bullying on the app, and so I'm a direct person. I'm not a very emotional person. But yeah, it was, I went through it for several months, and to this day, I'm still getting harassed. I mean, just 2 days ago, they were in my live and harassing me and trying to run me off the app. So, I mean, I went through that. They were they were showing my lives in their live. They were, they just tried to bully me for like several months. And it got really bad to the point where I think their intention was to run me off the app. That was the plan. And mind you, all of this is over a gifter. Okay. Just
That's
somebody
petty.
decided to gift me instead of them. And that's how it all came about. So yeah, so they did this to me for several months. And what ended up happening was I took a 2-week break from the to really like think like, is this what I want to pursue? Right. And I did the whole let my haters be my motivators. And from there, I just hustled my BUTT off and grinded as hard as I could, because a lot of the things that they were saying to me was I would never make it on the app. I'll never be anything on the app. My streams are boring. I don't have content, just all kinds of things that you could say. And so I just grinded for months straight, and then I got my top badge and I just shoved it in everyone who hated on me's face.
There
And
you
that's where
go.
I'm at now.
That's the way to show them, right? I mean, and it's true, like, with, especially with cyberbullying or any kind of bullying, because, like, I know for me, like, growing up, I was bullied as a teenager and as a kid. I was, kind of fat. I had glasses, braces, and my Tourette's, which I still have. So I was literally a big target, and it was very easy. And I lived in the hood, believe it or not. Um, but it's just there were, I'm not saying to say like, oh yeah, I grew through that. Like, no, it wasn't that easy. You know what I mean? And not everyone gets to grow through that and be on the other side. It's it takes certain people, and that's what I was just going to ask you, was, are there certain people, obviously, I mean, I see a lot of people came here tonight to support you being on the show, and I appreciate all of you guys being here, supporting her, being here, for my show. It's awesome to see everybody and all the love. Are these people the people that were kind of there, you're kind of your shoulder to lean on, basically? Not that you're crying, but your shoulder to lean on to say, you know what, I got your back. I don't care what these people say. I know who you are. You're a great person. You're this, you're not what they say you are. And I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to be here, no matter what.
Yeah, so like I feel like with streaming, like people come and go, support comes and goes, gifters come and go. I'm like prideful to say that like I have a lot of the people that have been there now are the people that were with me from the very beginning. I mean, there's, like Dan, for example, is in here. He was with me week one, my first week of streaming. He's been here with me consistently the entire time. Of course, I've accumulated more support or just different viewers throughout the time, but a lot of my people have been my A1 day ones and continue to see me, push through, and like were there for me off app where I could call them and be like, this happened. Because what I didn't want to do was go on my live, even though they were doing that to me, trying to expose me. I didn't want to use that in my live because that's not what I was about. I wasn't going to go and, um, I wasn't going to be petty and then go and be like, you did this to me, so I'm going to do something to you back. Because I didn't want my live to be about that. My live was all about
Right.
my progress, right? So yeah, they supported me off app as well as on app, and were there in the beginning. Were constantly pushing me to get, to get my goals and to help me continue to have like a purpose on the app.
Absolutely. So going back a little bit, obviously, you had these people there for you. What were some certain, let's just call it what it is, like certain, like we were just talking about feelings, emotions. What were some things that you were feeling um, through it all?
At first I was
Probably
really,
everything.
I was kind of angry. So because I was in this group and just it wasn't just the one person that was involved that turned on me, the entire family, and it's a huge family on here. They all of them turned on me. So it was like the day everything happened where they were like trying to exile me. I had over 200 follow requests that day from people just trying to like interject in my life and try to troll me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really, I had to go on like a major, my block list was like 500 people long by the end of all of this. And I've since cleared it because I've worked past it and it doesn't bother me anymore. But I was angry. I was disappointed. I was offended. And I kept thinking to myself, how would I want my children to, because I have 3 children, like how would I want my children to react to being bullied? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, of course.
the way that I react to it is how I would want my children to react to it. So I did the ignoring thing for a long time. And I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that it wasn't hard to do because it was difficult to shove down my emotions when people are coming in and calling you names or saying your name on stream or my phone number being leaked and threats to my house and trying to locate my children's father and trying to find out where I worked. I mean, it was, yeah, it's difficult. It's like, I'm human at the end of the day, even though I might not seem like I have too many emotions. If everybody knows me in my stream, they know that I'm like a no BS type of person. But yeah, no, it's hard to shove it down and ignore it when it's in your face. So it's taxing
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
100%.
And like Mr. Wright, I'm an empath myself. So I took on a lot of that emotion and like I would get off stream and just have to like decompress and take my breaks as needed for myself because it was
Right.
mentally exhausting. And now like reaching the level that I have in my stream and having the support and friends that I do now, they can't touch me anymore. You know what I mean? They can't bother me anymore. It's just like old news at this point.
Right, yeah. It was like in high school, like something happens that embarrasses someone. I mean, this is obviously a little more extreme, but it's like that next week or the next month, like they have something else that happened and
Right.
they moved on to kind of like it's just call it like a sheep factor, right? There's a lot of sheeps in the world. There are very few wolves, and the sheeps just kind of do what the other sheep do, and they just kind of follow the herd. And oh, we're making fun of Red Queen. Oh, we're gonna threaten Red Queen. Oh, Red Queen did this. Oh, I don't even know her, but I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like that's how bullying works, especially cyberbullying. I mean, I've never really experienced cyberbullying. I mean, maybe I have and I didn't realize it because I'm so immune to bullying in general at this point in my life. Like I'm just like, oh, you're gonna come to my house? Okay, cool. Well, do you want my address or you want to try to find it? I mean, whatever.
Right.
But obviously, I'm a guy. You know what I mean? It's different. For a woman, it's a lot more. It's scary because you don't know if they're really gonna do it or not. And you don't want to find out.
Yeah, that was my fear. And I think for me growing up in high school and stuff like that, thankfully I never experienced bullying ever. And I'm not, and like I said, if you know me and you come to my lives, I'm a very tough person. I mean, I will talk crap to anybody who says anything to me. I don't care. I don't have a filter.
Yeah, I've
but to
been
be
there and I've
bullied,
watched that for a while.
yeah, and so that's how I am, but there's a difference between, like I said, filter and bully. And to go through that myself as intensely as I did, it was really messed up. And I'm just like, we are grown adults on this app, right? I mean, you have to be 18 or older. And I was just like,
they're grown, but yeah.
This is right. I'm like, this is what we're doing on here. This is how we're choosing to spend our time on the app. Like my streams are the way that they are because I have enough stuff going on in my personal life that I want people to come to my live and just laugh. Just laugh. It's funny. You know what I mean? I want you to decompress from your regular life. But
right,
to come on here and have it be it was like such a chore to come on here, and like the frustration of like leaving feeling just as frustrated as I was when I went on, it was challenging,
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, that's like what Right Way was saying, is it gets hard streaming. And you're a top badge, so you have those requirements to stream a certain amount, and it's tough because you're dealing with a lot of people's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're like being a bartender or a hairdresser or a barber or those certain jobs that you don't sign up to be someone's therapist, but in a sense, all day you're sitting there listening to them like you are a therapist. And sometimes streaming is like that, not always. but sometimes it is, you know. And so I can imagine that, you know, you're over here trying to mind your own business, and then you got all these people attacking you, harassing you, all these things. And to me, I mean, I don't have kids yet or anything, but whenever someone mentions like the kids, that's when I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
no,
Mm-hmm.
you crossed like a huge line, not even a thin line, but a huge line. Just that's it, you know what I mean? So like, it's, I don't know any of these people that you're talking about, and that's fine. Better to leave it anonymous. I don't know if I know them or not, it doesn't really matter. But just the fact that, I hope I don't, because just the fact that they would do these things is pretty bad. So obviously, you know, now fast forward a little bit, like you said, you do have these people that stick by your side because they care about you. They know who you really are, you know, on the app. They know who you are as a streamer. They know who you are as a friend. And they obviously love you being here tonight and just being in your streams all the time. They're loyal to you, and just like you are with them, you know, other than them being there for you, what is, what's something that, did you have like a certain moment that was like aha moment that you went through that was like, you know what, I'm good with this, I'm cool? Was it getting your top badge, or was it just kind of?
It was definitely the getting the top badge. For one, that was huge. And also my gifter, the person being replaced on my gifter board, was another huge I can do it without you moment. Um, and
Right.
just, I mean, obviously for me, for a lot of people, when somebody tells you no, you can't do something, it motivates you. So 100% getting my top edge was that aha moment, and that I won moment. Like, you didn't succeed in running the app, and I'm not going anywhere now.
Right, now you're here.
And my favorite part about the whole situation is that I I didn't really like address it on my stream too much, but I met a lot of people who've also been, for lack of a better word, victimized by that group, and I'm friends with them now, and they've learned from my experience, and have come over to my side now and been like, you made it through, and like, we're following over, you know what I mean? And like, I've made friendships out of that situation.
Right, you know, and it's, sometimes it's being able to recognize, you know, when you see someone that, like, you know, like how Riley was saying, that was a good point. Like, people, I don't know, maybe this has happened to you too, where people have literally come into your live and they're talking some crazy talk, but it's like, I don't know, they might be serious. You know, I don't want to just blow them off, because, you know, what if this is something that they're saying is like real, and I'm the person that blows them off, instead, like, well, you know, if you want, you can hang out here. You can, you know, we're really chill over here. You might get trolled a little bit, haha. Um, is that, you know, is that, has that something that's ever happened to you now that you've kind of come up more?
Yeah, so like, I feel like my place is a place to kind of unload. Um, I'm really receptive to that. And like, as crazy as we are in my stream, we will stop when it like, because we're basically we're just very carefree in my live, right? But the second somebody comes in and starts to like say something that's like deep, we will stop and we will have a serious conversation for the most part, right? And then from there, when I'm like, okay, now back to the BS, now back to the fun stuff. You know what I mean? But
Right.
we will, especially when it has something to do with my family, like everybody in here with their mermaids, you know? These are my family members. When something is serious going on, I actually even have like a backup page that I will use. So we don't have to do it on my stream. We don't have to do it in front of everybody. We can move over to that page, and we'll go have a private conversation where I don't have 12,000 faves. You know what I mean? And not everyone's watching. Like, we will stop for circumstances like that. But yeah, I do have a lot of people that will come in and kind of respect my advice or my opinion. Yeah, we have like family meetings and stuff like that, and we will head over there, and like,
That's
I have
cool.
a friend, I have a couple friends that have like drinking problems and things that I have a family chat, and we'll go and run things off of the app, because I don't want to use anyone's, unfortunate circumstances for content. That's not what I'm about.
Right, not to your benefit.
Right. It's not going to do anything for me. I don't want to do that. These people are my family. You know what I mean? They're closer to me than in real life. I don't have time to like go out and hang out and do stuff like that. So I come on here to decompress. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of what Kitty said. It's, you know, and it's happened to me too. I don't really talk about it much, but it has happened to me where people have taken my dirty laundry and aired it out all over, literally on air, on live. Um, and then it's not even true, you know, because it's always, you know, different three sides, right? There's their side, my side, and there's like the actual truth or whatever it is.
Telephone effect.
Right, the telephone effect is exactly that. Yeah, perfect example. You know, this person heard and this person. So it's just, but it's crazy because it's like cool that, you know, I didn't even, I mean, I asked you to be on the show right way, kind of got asked by Emoji J, and it was great having him. But it's cool that you guys kind of both had the app be your kind of main topic of like something you embraced and grew through. Like for him, he had, you know, a different situation, but the app helped him
Right.
grow through those situations. And for you, it was like the app was part of the adversity or the, you know, growth situation, but also how you grew through it because you developed friendship, like you said, you developed friendships through that, you know, struggle through that hard time and all those things. So with that being said, I want to hear a little bit because usually what I would do is I would have him come back in to the box and we'd close out the show and exchange little things, but he had to be on the other show that he was on. What are your thoughts on some of the stuff that I was talking about in the like intermission of the show of emotions and feelings and allowing them to come? And is that something that you personally resonate with, or something that maybe you talk about in your stream, or is it something that
so we don't do too many like emotional stuff in my stream again because I don't like it to be super serious because I feel like my, you know, like I said, I do have 3 children. I'm working on a master's degree right now. I work full time. Like I my life in general is very serious. So this is like my decompressing time to just let loose. And like I appreciate all the growth stuff that you talk about because I've always had a backbone, but coming on here when you have people constantly critiquing you, judging you. I get a lot of trolls just in general. I get a lot of men who try to come in and start to disrespect me, call me all sorts of names. That's just comes with the territory of being on the app. It's a bunch of keyboard warriors on here, right? And so like my thing is, like eating trolls for breakfast, I literally will tear trolls apart. I'm telling you guys this from a personal perspective of like things that I've gone through, but I'm not a saint by any means. You know what I mean? Like I don't go around trolling people, but I give off the energy that I receive. So if you're nice to me, I'm completely nice. But if you're going to be mean to me, I'm going to go off on you in my life. I'm going to shut you down. I'm going to let it be known that it's not okay. And we are a family. So all of my people are going to come. I mean, we're not sitting there harassing you or calling you names.
right,
But
just letting them know that's not going to happen.
You're not going to come in here and disrespect anybody in my life at all. It doesn't matter who it is. You're not going to be disrespectful. And that's one thing that I'm known for in my life. And I attribute a lot of that to being on here and going through what I went through is getting that like really thick skin being on here. Because you will get people who hate you for no reason.
Oh yeah.
And I get that a lot.
Absolutely.
I get that a lot. You know, people come in and just start automatically going in on me and calling me all sorts of names or, you know, whatever. But I've gotten a lot of growth just from that in general. And also it's made me a lot more sympathetic to people because you just never know what anyone's going through, and you don't just walk into someone's live and then just start going off on them. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going to set somebody over the edge.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you never know what someone is going through in their life. You never know what type of day they had or what type of life they're living right now or what's going on. So you don't, you know, it's important to always, I mean, we can talk about this all day, all night for every single day, and it wouldn't matter because there's still going to be those people that just don't care, and they're still going to come in like that. So what would you say? There was something you said a minute ago about, it kind of threw me off. No, it didn't throw me off. I'm thrown off because I can't remember. But just how you're basically, in a sense, you were like in an inner troll becoming a top badge.
Wait, what
So
do you mean?
it's like you're like you have the inner troll in you that you can't get like an inner troll is like someone that can't get trolled. Maybe you don't go and troll people, obviously, but You
Right.
can't get trolled because it doesn't affect you anymore.
I will say I talk my ish.
You let them know,
You know what I mean?
and I think that, do you think that like part of that, like being so immune to, if you want to call it immune, being so used to, or whatever it is, like because of what you dealt with prior?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has a lot to do with that. That in general, that definitely like set me over the edge, because it doesn't get worse than that. You know what I mean? Like your personal information being leaked to hundreds of thousands of people, it does not get worse than that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely contributed to it. But I've also been very true to myself. Like the person I am on app is the person I am off app, and I've never changed that. And I don't, I'm not here to please everybody, make everybody feel great about themselves. It's not my job. You either like what's in here or you don't, I'm a good person at the end of the day. But I'm not somebody you want to mess with.
Right. I feel like we have that same thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm very, like a lot of people are like, when I tell them like, yeah, I used to be an MMA fighter, like, what? You're so chill and quiet. And I'm like, I am pretty chill and quiet, but there's a reason for that. Like you start off at 4 or 5 years old, going into an old Japanese traditional karate studio on wood floors, learning how to kneel and bow and stand in like a horse stance, is what they call it, horse stance, for like 30, 45 minutes without stopping. Like it's going to discipline you to be this type of way, but it doesn't mean that I won't go off on someone I need to. You know what I mean? Like, and people seem to, it's like that old cliche of, whatever, I don't know, maybe someone can correct me, but it's like, to take advantage of my kindness, or just, or don't mistake my kindness for weakness, right? Is that the quote?
Right.
So it's just like that. And it's just like, it's just crazy how, you went through all that stuff. Well, actually you grew through all that stuff, right? And then here you are, and I believe it was Kitty that said it, there's nothing better than succeeding to really, really break those haters down. And if we think about it, haters really are just fans in denial. That's what I was always told.
Right.
Haters are truly just fans in denial. They don't want to be fans of you because they hate that they're fans of you. And so they want to pretend like they hate you, but really they want to be just like you.
Right.
And those are haters.
Well, and
So
I could have done what they did back and exposed. But I stayed quiet and I just kept fighting on my own to get where I was,
And you did it. You worked in silence, and now, your results show out loud.
Yep.
It's like, that's one of my favorite things is work in silence and let your results, express everything, or show whatever. So as we close out the show real quick, what's something that you would suggest, or maybe, something that you do that's helped you? Obviously a lot of different things, but what's like one of the biggest things that comes to your mind right away that's helped you a lot with other people that may be dealing with bullying, whether it's in life, real life, or on the app, or just as a person?
I would say stay true to yourself no matter what anybody says about you. You know who you are, you know your heart. You don't have to please anybody. You don't have to make anybody like you. People will see goodness. There is a lot of good on here. There's a lot of bad on here. You will find, you don't have to be a streamer that has, 2,000 views a stream. You don't have to be a streamer that has 50 views a stream. Your people will find you, and you will find your support system on here.
Your vibe attracts your tribe.
You will find, you will, exactly. It's like a magnet. You're going to attract what you give out. You will find your people that support you, respect you, appreciate you.
Cool. Well, if everyone, appreciate everybody being here. This is Grow Through It. I'm your host, Cureage, or you can call me Cure. Please favorite Miss Red Queen, top badge, and go check her out. She's going to stream in just a little bit. And I thank you again for being here and hanging out, being a guest. I'm definitely going to, obviously I've been to your streams before, and I used to watch you stream when you would, I would be in Trainwreck stream, but when you guys would have your battles. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like he calloused you a little bit with the trolling, because he's like one of the best trolls on the app. And I would watch him troll you in a friendly way. Obviously you guys are battling over and over and rematching, but I feel like, that might have helped. What do you think?
So Train actually, it's funny because he tries to act like he's emotionless, but he told me the other day, he was like, I don't rematch people. And me and Train can go for hours.
That's so not true.
I mean,
Right.
so, well, but I mean, on the level, you know what I mean? Like he'll rematch a couple rounds,
Right.
whatever. But me and him will go like 2 hours of going.
Oh yeah.
But I think that like some of the stuff I've been through is why I can take Train's crap as much as I do, and go back and forth with it, because that's like our relationship with each other is just constantly trolling each other. And it's like I get to take out all my, instead of going and cursing out people, I just get to go curse out Trainwreck.
Right. And I feel like if you can handle Train's, you know, if you can handle Train's trolling, you can handle anyone's, because
Right.
I feel like if anyone's gonna win the Troll of the Award or of the Year award, it's gonna be him.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well, Red, I'll let you go so you can go stream. Everybody go favorite her, go check out her stream, show her love. Don't mess with her because she won't let it happen. And neither will her people. She'll put you down real quick.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the gifts, everybody.
And everybody, thank you for being here. This was Grow Through It every Monday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, 11 Central, 10 p.m. Mountain. I don't really know all the time zones, but that's as must. Great show. Thank you for hosting. Keep it up. Thank you, Rotisserie. And thank you, everybody, for all the love. Thank you for being here. Obviously, I couldn't, you know, say hello and acknowledge every single person that came in, but I did see everybody. So I appreciate all of you very much, so much for being here. I know it's been a little bit, I had to skip a couple episodes, but it's been great hanging out with you. I had some great guests tonight. I know the app's been kind of slow lately is what I've been hearing. So it's interesting how, you know, how things work out, but you guys are here. That's all that matters. And if you guys are interested in ever being a guest on the show, feel free. Obviously, if you haven't favored me, go ahead and favorite. It's free. You can add me on Instagram or Snapchat. Send me a message, and we can get you booked. Or Emoji J, he's also in here. You can message him too, and get you booked for that show. You can be a guest as well. Like I said, it's every Monday night. So with that being said, I'm gonna, for those of you who weren't here for the little quotes, I am going to read the little quotes really quick because we do have a little extra time right now. So we were talking about different feelings with Right Way in the Box. Red, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody. Katie, Box Bomb, Gigi, Bethany, everybody. I appreciate all of you so much. So we were talking about different emotions, different feelings, different things, and how to accept them, not suppress them, right? And all of a sudden I see the quote that I picked out for tonight. I love it because it somehow always matches. It says acceptance doesn't mean you don't change it. It just means it no longer has any power over you. Can't find that to be any more true, right? And then the other one, which, you know, this is what it says, but I like to substitute it. And it says, to fear is to be human. To avoid fear is to avoid your own humanity. So my substitution is feel. To feel is to be human. To avoid feeling is to avoid your own humanity. And again, like those are pretty damn spot on. But yeah, so everybody, thank you again for being here tonight. Appreciate everyone showing all love to each other. That's like the most important to me is how you guys were showing love to each other. There were no haters, none of that crazy stuff. So again, thank you for being here tonight. We grow through it. And I hope everyone has an amazing night. I'll see you guys next Monday, or, you know, next time I stream. I'll wait for this to go through. I don't really get these. I don't know how to work these things that they're new. So I'm gonna let this one go through. Bethany, thank you so much. All right, good night, everybody.